risk their lives for its own twisted and evil ends. Urging you to renew the ceasefire with Israel, but you refused. You have brought this upon yourself. You are responsible for what is happening to the people of Gaza. Who said that? Not a Jew, not an American, not a Zionist, but the foreign minister of Egypt. And how right he was. Hamas is not only set on the destruction of Israel and its people, and let me point out, against any form of peace initiative, it is to its very core anti-Semitic. Its charter openly incites Muslims to kill Jews. And yet people march through the streets of our cities shouting, "We are all Hamas now." Do they understand what being Hamas would mean to them and to us? And so we have come together today to show that there are those who genuinely want a peaceful solution between the people of Israel and the Palestinians, and that there are those who prefer peace to terror, and that there are those who want life and not death. I know that I speak for everyone here today when I say that we want an end to fighting, an end to war. But that end must ensure that Hamas can no longer continue to attack Israeli citizens using the people of Gaza as human shields for their terror. We want peace for the people of Israel. We want peace for the people of Gaza. Thank you all for being here.
Our sons and daughters in Israel know that we are with them, so that our friends and neighbors in Great Britain know where we stand. In this square we declare the basic, simple goal of the people of Israel: to be allowed to live in peace, without violence, without fear, and without terror. In 2005, we left Gaza totally. Instead of using its energy and resources to build a state, instead of walking down a pathway of peace, Hamas has led its people down a dead-end road of war. Hamas chose war over peace, destruction over development, conflict over coexistence. In Israel we fight to defend our children. Hamas fights to make martyrs out of them. As long as Hamas fires missiles at our citizens, as long as it brainwashes its children to hate and kill ours, as long as Iran continues to give it the means with which to do so, then the peace we all crave will remain out of reach. The missiles must stop, full stop.
Before I read the message from the Bishop of Manchester, I'd like to send a message to fellow Christians that we believe in unity. And when we hear the slogan, "End the occupation," we want that slogan to include end the preoccupation with hatred, vilification, and hatred towards the Jewish people and towards Israel. When we hear the slogan peace and justice, we want to say, let's see an end to the injustice that's perpetrated by Hamas on their own people. Let's see an end to the distortions that are brought to the children, the young babies, the children of the Gaza community, messages of hatred towards their neighbors. We love Israel because Israel represents peace and freedom. We hate hatred. We hate distortion of truth. I'm reading a message from the Bishop of Manchester, the chairman of CCJ. On behalf of the Council of Christians and Jews, we support peace for the people of Israel and Gaza. Many of Christian friends have relatives and friends in Israel and Gaza, and understandably are concerned, anxious and saddened by the situation. We have called for a cessation of the missile attacks on Israel and would like to see an end to all violence. The death of innocent people in a conflict such as this is a human tragedy. The only path to resolving the conflict in the long term is that one embraces dialogue and coexistence, and all parties, including Hamas, must appreciate this. We are particularly disturbed by reports of an increase in anti-Semitic attacks in recent days, both in the UK and across Europe. We continue to speak out against it. Conflict in Gaza must not jeopardize the well-being of any community in the UK. We assure everyone of our fervent prayers and heartfelt concern to promote the bonds of trust between our different communities in the UK and for a lasting peace in the Holy Land. Thank you.
Israel wants peace. We who love Israel want peace. No to terror, yes to peace. Let there be an end to bloodshed and hate. Let there be peace. We say to those who criticize Israel, you want Palestinian children to grow up with hope. So do we. You want Palestinians to be able to live in dignity. So do we. You want Palestinian parents to have work, income and a life for their families. So do we. 5. Israel withdrew from Gaza. It said to the people of Gaza, the land is yours. The factories, the farms, the buildings our people built are yours. The aid you seek in building an economy is yours. That is when terror should have stopped. Instead, that is when the current wave of terror began. The living nightmare. To the people of Sderot and Ashdod and Ashkelon and Beersheba, a rain of rockets injuring and killing young and old, the vulnerable, the innocent, who wanted nothing except peace. There are young children in Sderot who have only known a life of living in bomb shelters. Who can live like that?
And for the sake of the Palestinian children and the Israeli children,